Good morning, Will. I am so happy to sit down with you today. There is nothing better than a warm cup of coffee on a relaxing morning like this.
Good morning, Bella. I agree completely. But just walking up to the counter today made me a little nervous. I always feel a bit of pressure when I order in English.
Really, Will? Even you get nervous. You order coffee every single day. What makes you feel anxious?
Well, the barista looks at me, the line of people behind me grows longer, and suddenly my mind goes completely blank. I always worry that I will mix up my words or say something silly.
That is so relatable, Will. It is completely normal to feel that way. In fact, many of our listeners face the exact same problem when they try to speak English in public.
Exactly. And that is why we are here today. Welcome back to English Thories, everyone. Today we are going to help you feel completely confident the next time you walk into a coffee shop.
Yes, because today's episode is actually part of our brand new playlist. It is called English Everywhere. In this special playlist, we post videos about how to talk in different places and real-life scenarios.
I love this playlist idea, Bella. We are going to cover everything from supermarkets to airports. But today, we are starting with my favorite place, the Cozy Cafe.
It is the perfect place to start. You know, earlier you said your mind goes blank. That is actually a great phrase to start with. To go blank means you suddenly forget everything and cannot think of any words, right? Like when you look at a test and forget all the answers.
Yes, that is exactly what it means. My mind goes completely blank because I get nervous. But today, we are going to give our listeners a few simple steps so that never happens to them again.
Perfect! Let us start with the moment you walk into the cafe. The very first thing you need to do is greet the barista. A lot of students think they need to say something complicated, but a simple hello is wonderful.
That is true. I usually just say, "Hi, how are you doing?" It is friendly and polite. The barista will usually smile and ask what they can get for you today.
Exactly. And then comes the actual order. Will, what is your favorite formula to use when you want to buy a drink?
I always use the phrase, "Can I get?" or "I would like to have." For example, "Can I get a large iced latte, please?" It is much more polite than just saying, "Give me a coffee."
Oh, definitely. Politeness is key. Another great option is to say, "Could I please have a cappuccino?" It sounds very natural and smooth.
But here is where things can get a little tricky, Bella. After you say your order, the barista usually asks a follow-up question. They might ask, "What size would you like?" Or, "Is that for here or to go?"
That is the exact moment where people sometimes freeze up. Let us explain those options. For here means you want to sit down inside the cafe and drink from a glass cup. To go means you want them to put it in a paper cup so you can take it away with you.
Yes, and if you can answer that question quickly, you will feel like a total professional. I usually just say to go please because I am always on the move.
You really are always running around, Will. But what happens if you want to change something in your drink? For example, I do not drink regular milk. I always prefer oat milk or almond milk.
That is a great point. You can just add that to the end of your phrase. You can say, "Can I get a caramel macchiato with oat milk, please?" Baristas are very used to these requests, so do not be afraid to ask.
That is very true. They hear these requests all day long. Now, Will, sometimes I like to treat myself to a little snack with my coffee, maybe a chocolate muffin or a croissant. How do you ask for that?
I love pastries too. You can just use the phrase, "I will also take." For instance, "I will also take one of those blueberry muffins in the display case, please."
That is perfect. It keeps the conversation moving easily. Now let us talk about a common situation. What if you are not sure what you want yet? The line is moving and you need a little more time to look at the menu.
Oh, that happens to me all the time. I get close to the counter and I realize I have no idea what I want to drink. In that situation, I always tell the barista, "I am still deciding, you can go ahead of me."
That is a wonderful phrase. It shows that you are being polite to the people behind you. Another option is to ask the barista for a recommendation. You can say, "What do you recommend today?"
That is a brilliant idea, Bella. It takes the pressure off you and puts it on the barista. Plus, you might discover a delicious new drink that you have never tried before.
Exactly. It makes the whole experience much more interactive and fun. Now, let us talk about the next step, which is paying for your order. This is another area where a specific idiom comes in handy.
Yes, when it is time to pay, the barista will tell you the total cost. Then you can decide how you want to pay. These days, most people prefer to pay with a card or a phone instead of cash.
That is true. In fact, many modern cafes do not even accept paper money anymore. So if you want to ask if they accept cards, you can say, "Can I pay by card?"
And if you are paying for a friend, you can use a great idiom. You can say, "It is on me."
Oh, I love that phrase. "It is on me" means that you are going to pay for the whole bill yourself, right? Like when you take your friend out for their birthday and you buy their lunch.
Exactly. It is a very generous and friendly thing to say. So, if we go to a cafe together after this, Bella, the coffee is on me.
Thank you, Will. I will definitely take you up on that offer. Now, after you pay, the barista will give you a receipt and tell you where to wait for your drink. Usually, you have to move to a separate area called the pickup counter.
Yes, and while you wait, it is important to stay relaxed. You do not need to speak any more English until they call your name or your drink order.
That is the perfect time to practice some deep breathing if you still feel a bit nervous. Just look around the cafe, enjoy the lovely music, and wait for them to say your name.
And when they finally hand you your delicious coffee, there is one last thing you must do. Always say thank you and have a nice day. It is a small thing, but it leaves a wonderful impression.
It really does. Kindness goes a long way. Well, Will, I think we have covered the entire cafe experience from start to finish. Our listeners are going to be absolute experts now.
I think so too. But before we finish today's episode, we should probably do a quick review of the special phrases we used today. Let us do our classic word tours.
Yes, let us do it. I will start. The first phrase we talked about was to go blank. This means your mind suddenly becomes empty and you forget what you wanted to say because you are nervous.
The second phrase we used was for here or to go. This is what the barista asks to know if you will drink your coffee inside the cafe or take it away with you.
The third idiom we introduced was "it is on me." We use this friendly phrase when we want to tell someone that we are going to pay for their drink or meal.
Those are such useful phrases for everyday life. If you want to see more real-life conversations like this, make sure to subscribe to English Thories and check out our English Everywhere playlist.
Yes, please subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now we have a small homework task for all of you listening at home. We want you to practice right now.
Please go down to the comments section below and write a simple sentence using one of the new phrases we learned today. You can write about a time your mind went blank or tell us what you like to order to go.
We love reading your comments and we promise to check them all. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. Stay safe, keep practicing, and have a wonderful day.
Goodbye, everyone. See you in the next episode of English Everywhere.